everyone, my name is NewFlowerGirl, but you can call me Demi, and welcome back to another Aftertalk video. Today we're going to be talking about the MotoGP Qatar Grand Prix, and the first ever since like 30 years or something, Las Vegas Grand Prix for Formula 1. Penultimate round, yes, for both. So next weekend we will have the final race of both seasons, which I will not be able to watch live because I'm celebrating my birthday, but that doesn't matter because like we can watch it back. So it's fine. Like I said that myself. Like I knew like that it was on that day, but like I didn't know what we're gonna do with December 5th. So yeah. That's why. I'm like watching it back. It's fine. Doesn't matter. Like you still get the excitement. One thing happened during the Qatar Grand Prix, which I will go into further details later on, and it happened in the Moto3. Still find it unacceptable, and even commentators and legends of MotoGP have said that it was unacceptable. But first of all, we're going to go to the MotoGP sprint race on Saturday. Yeah. Miguel Oliveira did not finish the first lap, and Aleix Espargaro, he retired on another lap, but like they crashed together. There was another guy involved as well, don't know who, but Aleix Espargaro was injured, but he was declared fit on Sunday after the warm-up. So yeah. There are no Qatari drivers, but I do know Nasser Al-Attiyah, who we know from Dakar. He was present there. So yeah. Luca Marini was on pole. He finished third. Fabio Di Gianantonio second, and first Jorge Martin. And with Francesco Bagnaia in P5 during the sprint race, it meant that the title showdown would be taken to Valencia, which is basically what happened last year. It's basically back to back, which is amazing. It's like I was like last race, last lap. I think that's gonna be it. Unless like one of them crashes out like early in the race. Even if they both crash out, like Bagnaia will be champion. That's insane. Well, surprise, surprise, Juan Mir and Marc Marquez stayed on their bikes. I think that's something I have to mention like every time. Thus far, Di Gianantonio does not have a drive for next year. I say give him a seat. Because Muni VR46 racing team has a vacant spot for next year. I think that Fabio Di Gianantonio should go there next year because he cannot stay on Grassini because Marc Marquez is going to go there. And I don't think he will go to Honda because they're like in a drop right now. So yeah, we'll see where they're going to go. And Fabio Quartararo P8, that was not good. Right. Now we're gonna go to Formula 1. Because now it happened next, really. And I was doing the weird thing. Oh my god. Right. We've got basically the whole thing. I'm gonna go to. We're just gonna read the summary, so yeah, because we've got a lot to explain today. Verstappen took the lead from Leclerc at the start of the race, but was promptly handed a 5-second time penalty for forcing his rival off the track, and then got overtaken by the pole sitter before surfing it at the first round of pit stops. To be honest, low grip on the track, and like they didn't collide or anything. Like Charles knew that it was gonna happen, and like already steered away. So they didn't touch or anything, and Max was being very polite. It was like bullying the FIA, casually bullying the FIA on the team radio, saying like, "Send them my regards." Max has some of the best board radios this year. Like he sang last time. He did it this time too. He sang along to "Viva Las Vegas" by Elvis Presley, which is amazing. I mean, it's well out of tune, but like it doesn't matter. It's funny. Leclerc went longer into the race before changing tyres in an opening stint dominated by graining concerns, only for a safety car shortly afterwards to allow Verstappen and several other drivers to pit, again under caution. Let me tell you why that safety car came. It was because... Oh no wait, that was a different safety car. There were there were three safety cars. There was one for a race start incident, which basically ended the race off, sorta ended the race, for Alonso, Bottas, Sainz and Perez, because they all had to box. Then there was another safety car for which I was like internally crying. Lando Norris had a severe crash. He had to go to the hospital. He was discharged like a few minutes after the race, like half an hour after the race. Which was okay. I was happy to know that he was discharged from the hospital quite early. And last one was Max and Russell collided, but it was Russell's fault, and he admitted to it in the post-race interviews, and he got a penalty for it. At the decisive restart, Leclerc initially controlled proceedings from Perez, who had benefited from an early stop after an incident on the first lap, Georgia, through the aging tyres meant he came under severe pressure. Verstappen lit up the timesheets in the final laps to clear both his teammate and the leading Ferrari for a landmark win with this in the City of Lights, while Perez had followed him through to form a 1-2, only to be repassed by a determined Leclerc on the final lap. If only Perez had moved more towards the middle, none of that would have happened. Then it would be a solid 1-2. But however, Perez has secured P2 in the championship. Good job, Sergio Perez. Behind a remarkable rise from Esteban Ocon, netted 4th place for himself and Alpine, despite being narrowly beaten by Mercedes' George Russell to the line. However, Russell had been carrying a 5-second time penalty for a clash with Verstappen that brought out the aforementioned safety car. Russell's penalty also promoted the Aston Martin of Lance Stroll to 5th, while Ferrari driver Carlos Sainz and the sister Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton, since when is Lewis Hamilton's sister Mercedes, who clashed at turn 1, also benefited to take 6th and 7th. Fernando Alonso and Oscar Piastri completed the points with their respective Aston Martin and McLaren machines, despite recovering from a lap 1 spin, and the Australian rookie, the only papaya car to make it to the flag after teammate Lando Norris suffered a heavy crash early on. I have recorded that crash on my phone and I posted it on X. So yeah, I will show you that crash. It was heavy. It was big. I was so sad. I was almost crying. It was that bad. Pierre Gasly had held points for the majority of the race after starting up in 4th, but a tumble down the order saw the Alpine saw him cross the line in 11th, with Alex Albon suffering a similar fate to his Williams. Kevin Magnussen and Daniel Ricciardo had lonely races en route to P13 and 14 for Haas and AlphaTauri. With the Alfa Romeos of Joe Guanyu and Valtteri Bottas, the latter another caught out at turn 1, and Williams rookie Sargent among the final finishers. Let me tell you, I think Sargent had the best qualifying days ever because he qualified in the top 10. And basically until the first round of pit stops, he maintained that both Williamses maintained that P5, P6 spaces. It was so good to see. I was so hoping for Sargent to finally get points in America. Well, to get good amount of points in America, of course. Because he got points in America, he finished in Texas in B10. What the hell? Like, also, I was like saying, like, with the qualifying, I was saying, like, I want Sargent to be in the top 10. He deserves it. And then he does it. He does an amazing job. Did an amazing job. AlphaTauri's Yuki Tsunoda and Haas's Nico Hulkenberg both pulled off the track in the closing stages amid apparent technical trouble, meaning they joined Norris on the list of retirement and watched the finish from the sidelines. Let me tell you, they both did the exact same thing. Like, Tsunoda and Hulkenberg, they both did the exact same thing. Like, first it was Hulkenberg who retired, and he just parked his car out of the way. That it wasn't too much trouble for the marshals. They just were able to move the car under green flag racing because it was safe parked. And then Yuki Tsunoda comes by and parks it in the exact same in the exact same spot, which was good to see. That they didn't want to interfere. After a spectacular 3 days of action under the lights in Las Vegas, F1 will move swiftly onto the Yas Marina circuit for the season-ending Abu Dhabi Grand Prix weekend, next weekend. Now, as it happens, they have that already, like lap 3 already. His car just bottomed out. So yeah. Now let's go to the other classes. Moto 3. I'm not happy with this result though. The only retirements were Joshua Wadley and Felipe Farioli. Diogo Moreira also had a crash, but he was able to pick his bike back up. Right. I am pretty upset with this result. Not because of who is champion, but the way it was won. Alright? So basically what happened was Sasaki was a title contender. Same for Jaume Masia. But what he did next just completely is not champion worthy. And even Mick Doohan has said it. Well, he not exactly those words, but he just said that Masia doesn't have the talent that Sasaki has. Lots of people on Twitter have agreed with me, about all of this. But what Masia did, he basically going into the same turn, which is turn 6, basically where the long lap is. When he was making a move on the inside on Sasaki, he just put his bike straight, forcing Sasaki to go wide. And then his teammate comes along afterwards, Adrian Fernandez, and he does the exact same thing, also twice. Like, if Leopard Racing cannot do it the proper way, they will start to do these things. This is probably the dirtiest way I've ever seen a Moto3 championship get won. I know that this shit has happened in the past, but like, no, this is not right. Yeah, Colin Vire, P10 after his amazing victory last weekend. Sasaki ended up in P6, and Masia won the race. Onchu had a jump start, so he had to take a double long lap penalty. And it was not by long. It was not like you had to use an extreme slow-mo camera to see it, because we immediately were like, jump start. He took double long lap early on in the race, and he fought his way back up to P3. My dad was shocked about that, and I said anything can happen in Moto3. You can even start from the pit lane and win the damn race. It is true, it has happened before. Pedro Acosta, he won the race from pit lane, which was amazing to see. But the replacement of Ana Carrasco ended up P5, which is really good. Vicente Perez and David Munoz P12. And that's it basically from this. Moto 2. Title was already decided here. Retirements. There's one guy who did not start. He had early troubles. Philippe Salach. Then retirements: Sean Dillon Kelly, Lucas Tulovic, and Kota Nozane. Pertamina had a tough race. P25 for Tiger Harder and P22 for Bo Schneider. Same for Zonta, who and the other Fit and Oli Racing GP driver. Zonta P19 and Barry P18. There goes both Dutch drivers in the points this season. I don't think it will happen in Valencia. Like, that definitely won't happen. Acosta, even though he's champion, it doesn't matter where he's finishing, so he bagged 8 more points in P8. Tony Abellino just had a shit race, I think. I can't remember. Jake Dixon fought a nice battle with Ayagura. Aaron Canet had a battle with Manuel Gonzalez, who has gotten his first ever podium. And the winner was Fermin Aldeguer. Now, MotoGP, like I said, the title goes to Valencia. It's the second time, was basically the first time last time ever in MotoGP history, basically from the moment it was named MotoGP, that it's going to go to Valencia. Because last year, if you remember, the title showdown was also in Valencia. So it was amazing. The retirements: Iker Lecuona, who had tech problems, and Aleix Espargaro, who served his penalty because he had a penalty, alright? Which was not for what happened during the sprint race, was for what happened during qualifying or training. Basically, he showed unsportsmanlike behaviour and slapped Franco Morbidelli on the helmet while driving. That's not the way to do it. He got 6th place grid penalty for that. But he served his penalty and then he basically went back in. I don't think he was feeling alright because he had a small fracture in his shoulder blade or something. So yeah. Anyway, there might have been Miguel Oliveira, because I don't see Miguel Oliveira in here as well. Oof. Oof! Oh, that's sad. Like, he basically was forced to DNS by two Spaniards. Oh my god. Mir stayed on his bike again. Same for Marc Marquez, but Jorge Martin, he showed such a great performance in the sprint race, and now he's just P10. What the hell? Fabio Quartararo had a nice race. He had a good race. Francesco Bagnaia, he had a good race until the moment he was overtaken by Fabio Di Gianantonio, and that was for P1. Luca Marini, P3. Fabio Quartararo 7th. And now you guys are wondering, like, where did Di Gianantonio finish? Well, he got his first ever podium. He got not his first ever podium. He got that like in the last 2 races or something. His first ever race win. and like I was like rooting for him. I was rooting for him to do it, and like it was like a moment where I was like, Benaya's gonna get him back into turn one, and I was like, no, he's going wide. What's going on? I think he just slammed on the brakes just a tad bit too late, like a few meters too late. And he nearly took TGI with him, but luckily he didn't. He didn't. Right, so that's it. Title goes into Valencia. Now let's go to the Twitter, to my Twitter. Now it's doing that weird thing where the search bar is up there. So you might have seen this on my Twitter where I reposted and replied things. So this is something that Mick Doohan has said. I am in shock. No penalty for the riding standards shown by the winning driver and team. Racing should be hard, but fair. The winner did not win on talent. He knew he didn't have your talent. Sensational ride, Sasaki, you gave it all. And he basically said that it's a message of support under Ayumu Sasaki's latest Instagram post. So, yeah. Frank Wayne, he's a Dutch commentator. He said he can be proud of winning that world title, but he nor the team should be proud of the way it was won. That was much more than, air quote, elbows out. So yeah, and I basically said under that, more like can't win the title in a fair way. I think the stewards need to take a good look at it and give the team a harsh penalty. Strip them from the title or something. And someone has liked it. I don't know who liked it. So I'll just like my own post. I can see that later on. And then someone under Ayumu Sasaki's post on Twitter, basically he posted, I ran until the end without giving up. I'm proud of all the fans who have sent me so much support, strength and love. I wasn't able to make that come true, but the final game definitely won't end like this. I will prepare for a race where I can show my strength for everyone. Thank you very much. He should have been champion, in my opinion. He's a better champion. I'm not saying that because he's teammates with Colin Vire, but like, I've had enough of all the Spaniards winning constantly. And like, I don't like people being unsportsmanlike, aka there's actually right now a hashtag going around which is basically hashtag cheat Masia. I'm not saying use that, so just don't. But like, what do you guys think on all of this? Do you think that stewards have to give Masia a penalty, or basically a whole team, or just the riders? I'm not sure if it's the team. Like, should the drivers get a penalty or not? In my opinion, Masia should be stripped from the title. Get like a penalty so that it's basically reversed, but not that he's disqualified. Because if he is disqualified, I think Sasaki would be champion immediately. Or should he just be immediately disqualified from the entire standings? Like, or no. Just tell me if you were the FIM stewards, what penalty would you give Masia if you were to give him a penalty? And if you aren't going to give him a penalty, then explain why. And I will read them out. So yeah, leave a suggestion. Leave like in the comments like what would you do in this situation, and explain why. Under the post of Sasaki that I just read out, someone said, a battle cleanly fought. And despite the end result, you cemented yourself as a person's champion who writes with respect. Bounce back stronger. And I said, a clean battle from Sasaki, yes, but not from Leopard. They forced him white 4 times. Like they can't win properly or something. This is just my own opinion though. And that person said, agree, it's a cleanly battle fought by Sasaki only. So yeah. Sasaki is a clean driver. We can take it from there. And then just some random shit about myself. About things. I also posted under the post by MotoGP about Masia being a champion. Unpopular opinion, you may disagree with me, I don't care. What he did during the race was to Sasaki is unacceptable. If you can't win a championship the legit way, you are not a champion. I just realized I have made so many typos there. Yeah, and then the crash of Lando for you guys. Oh, that sound. I don't want the sound. So, let me go to here. Okay, it's all on. So, this is the crash of Lando. Filmed from my phone. There he is. Bam. The entire rear wing just flies off. Now, look at this. You have Oscar coming here, and here comes Lando. That's so freaking close. Like, imagine if they hit him and Lewis just casually cut the corner there. Do you see that? Oop, oop, oop. Yeah, here comes Lewis. He just casually cuts the corner. And we also have onboard. Just, he bounces, and he lost control. This tarmac, basically this asphalt, he hit that concrete wall. Basically, the tarmac is not perfect. It's not made for Formula 1. It's too bouncy. I think they really need to reconsider the amount of, obviously, how this track is going to be. Like, they're also in like a turn as well. They were also turning in. That's what one of the guys said who did IndyCar. Which is basically almost the same kind of cars, but also not at the same time. And he had it as well. Like, he was turning in on an oval, and then he hit like a bumpy bit, like a bump in the road, and then he lost control as well. The same thing happened. They need to completely reconsider all of this. Driver safety is first. It's top priority. I'm just happy Lando's okay though. So yeah. Next weekend, like I said, Valencia Grand Prix and Abu Dhabi, which is probably one of my favorite night races as well. I mean, the light show with all this, it was amazing with Vegas, but it's too much show. Like, no. Even Max Verstappen has said, like, it's too much. It's like 99% show and 1% racing. Like, that's not Formula 1. And I get it, you have to make it interesting, but like, show is not top priority. It's racing. Come on, you gotta do better than that. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this TED Talk and Aftertalk. Yeah, I don't know. I'm always ranting in these Aftertalk videos. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Either way, if you did enjoy it, then please hit the like button. Also consider subscribing if you don't want to miss any of my videos. Let me also know in the comments down below what would you give to Jaume Masia or just Leopard in general if you were to give him a penalty. But that's it from me for now, and I shall see you guys in another video. Bye!